between guitar and piano. One guitar is for the radio, like this could maybe go on the radio, and piano is this will never go on the radio. Guitar I consider more of a kind of pop instrument and relaxed kind of situation, whereas piano I get a little more anal about, I guess.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Rufus. I love your work. It's absolutely brilliant. And I actually had the great privilege to sing with the chorus that sang Bloom, with the part that you wrote for the Stephen Petronio Company.
Yes.
And I just wanted to ask you how the experience of writing with dancers and children in mind differed from your usual writing.
Yeah, that was a great experience. I hope to release the track, actually. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I hope to release the track soon of Bloom. And it was amazing. I mean, I would love to actually write a ballet someday. And because, I love dancers and and I love my music and like my music and the dancers. It's great. Kids are great too. Come on, kids, let's sing. No, it was amazing. I mean, I'm just privileged that anybody wants to do anything with me in the first place.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Est-ce que je peux vous demander une question de votre vie à Montréal?
Oui, ma vie à Montréal.
You wrote one song that I'm aware of in which you mentioned Montreal,
yes.
And you seem to have had some very bitter experiences expressed in that song. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
I'm just poking fun at Montreal in that song, but I know I was just up in Montreal for the holidays, and then I was there a lot. Seeing my mom and stuff. And Montreal is, in my opinion, one of the great creative centers of the world, really. If you think of all that's come out of there, whether it's Leonard Cohen or me, or my mother, or also Denis Arcand and Claude Leveillé. There's an amazing French culture there. So I feel very privileged to have come from there. I do have a relationship with the city that is somewhat frozen in time, from my childhood, and I grew up in an era in the 70s where to be English was really to be a minority, and was not and not to say, I mean, I love French people, and I actually kind of have this weird fetishistic love for French people in Montreal, because I always kind of felt outside of that culture. So it was an interesting place to grow up, because one was kind of marginalized a little by being English, which is the complete opposite of the United States. So I don't know, but it's definitely instilled a kind of outsider feel, which helps when you're an artist.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Ready? When I was much younger, I was a groupie of Judy's. And I went to every one of her Carnegie Hall concerts, and I happened to be there the night that she introduced Lorna and Liza.
Oh, wow.
And I heard them sing a trio that was specially written just for them. But I, too, was a groupie of Maria Callas.
Oh, wonderful.
And the finest opera that I ever heard was her Norma at Covent Garden.
Lucky.
When I read
Lucky man.
When I read in the New York Times that you're getting involved with the Metropolitan Opera, you're the only person I know who is young who really is that Peter Gelb was getting interested in.
Yeah.
And I'm one of the whiteheads that he's talking about that he would like to get some of the dark hairs in. So I really wanted to know, how much more are you going to get involved with opera and the Met? Because that's what we need.
Yeah.
I mean, we need people like you to get involved in it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, all I can say is that I have a tremendous debt to opera, because right now I can count 3 times where it's really saved my life. First was when I was coming out of the closet, and it was the AIDS was gearing up and all that. Opera really got me through that time, or gave me a lot of hope at that period. Second time was with drugs and alcohol. That I could only, opera was the only form of music that even could vaguely touch, what I was feeling emotionally. And then this last time, and certainly, with my mother, and we were big opera fans together. And every time I go now, I'm very, very, I just feel, complete afterwards. So I consider it sort of a, duty of mine to sort of repay for all of that joy that I've experienced over the years. So it is a lifelong commitment to.
Could I just observe that I had the same experience? I'm 85 years old, so I have been around a long time. But when I was only 14, I grew up on an Iowa farm, and we had a battery radio.
Yeah.
And I always had dibs on the battery on Saturday afternoons to hear the opera coming from the Met. So I started listening to it when I was only about 12 years old, and it was a great thrill for me to finally get to the Met and hear it. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you, Rufus.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye. I go out the back here, right? I'm going to run through the back.
Yeah, I'm going to... Okay.